The first sign wasn't the tracks. It was the silence. No birds, no movement, just a heavy stillness hanging over the fields before sunrise. Then the fence snapped. A deep, tearing crack echoed across the land, and everything changed. By the time we reached the edge of the cornfield, it was already too late. Rows that had taken months to grow were flattened in minutes. Soil ripped apart. Deep gouges carved through the ground like something had churned it from below. And then we saw them, dozens of dark shapes moving in the mist. Not scattered, moving together, organized. One large boar stepped forward, massive shoulders rolling as it pushed through the crops. The rest followed its lead without hesitation. This wasn't random damage. This was control. We shouted, tried to push them back. They didn't run. They watched. For a moment, it felt like we were the ones trespassing. Then, just as suddenly, the entire group shifted, slipping back into tree line, disappearing into darkness like they were never there. But the damage stayed. And it wasn't just one night. It kept happening. Again and again. Every morning, more ground torn apart. Fences broken. Water sources turned into mud pits. Entire sections of land destroyed overnight. What we were dealing with wasn't just wildlife anymore. It was an invasion. Across the country, situations like this are becoming common. Entire regions are struggling to keep up as feral hog populations explode, causing billions in damage every year and spreading diseases that threaten livestock and people alike. And the worst part? They learn. They avoid traps. They change patterns. They move at night. They test your defenses. And when they find a weakness, they come back in larger numbers. We tried pushing them out. Didn't work. We tried hunting them individually. Didn't work. Every time we removed a few, more appeared. That's when we realized something had to change. This wasn't a hunt anymore. It was a containment operation. We needed strategy, coordination, precision, because if even a small group slipped through, in a few months, their numbers would double, and the land wouldn't recover. So we brought in a team, not for a simple chase, for a controlled operation, long-range positions set across ridge lines, ground teams moving through dense cover, drones watching from above, dogs trained not just to chase, but to hold, every movement planned, every shot calculated, no noise, no wasted chances, because one mistake, and the entire herd disappears into the forest, and once they vanish, you don't see them again, until it's too late. Dawn broke cold and quiet as we took our positions. Radios low, breath steady, eyes locked on the valley below. Somewhere in that mist, they were already moving, and this time, we weren't going to let them slip away. Pre-dawn silence wrapped the land as final positions were locked in. The team moved without noise, spreading across ridges, dry ditches, and narrow tree lines that overlooked the valley. Every spot had a purpose. Elevated ground gave a wide view. Low cover allowed close interception. Rifles were set on steady bipods, scopes aligned carefully. Thermal devices scanned the darkness, revealing faint heat signatures hidden beyond the brush. Hunting dogs, trained bay hounds, waited under tight control, GPS collars ready to track every movement. Radio stayed quiet. Only short confirmations passed through. Position set. Hold. This was not just a hunt. It was a coordinated operation where every mistake could cost an entire opportunity. As the first light touched the horizon, tension built. Minutes stretched longer than expected. Every small sound felt amplified. Then it came, a low growl from one of the dogs. Movement ahead. All eyes shifted. Thermal scopes picked it up first. A large boar, calm and unaware, moving slowly while feeding. Distance roughly 150 yards. The shooter adjusted position, controlling breath, calculating wind drip and drop. Crosshairs settled on the vital zone. One smooth trigger pull broke the silence. The suppressed shot echoed softly. The boar collapsed instantly. That single shot triggered chaos. The hidden group exploded into motion. Shadows scattered in every direction, crashing through brush and trees. Dogs were released immediately. Their deep barks filled the air as they tracked with speed and precision. On the flank, another hunter reacted fast, locking onto a running sow. Timing was critical. One shot. Clean hit. The animal dropped mid-run, stopping the escape in that direction. The team advanced in pairs, moving carefully to block exits. Every step was planned. The goal was clear: do not let the group reform. Dogs pushed forward, cornering one boar near a shallow water patch. It held its ground, distracted by the barking pack. The shooter closed distance, steady and controlled. At closer range, aim adjusted. A precise shot ended instantly. By midday, conditions changed. Sunlight made visibility harder. Positions shifted into shaded areas to maintain advantage. Then suddenly, without warning, a boar burst from thick cover at high speed. No time to think. Reaction took over. The rifle came up, aim locked, and a quick shot stopped the charge before it could become dangerous. The operation continued with constant movement. Some shots were taken at longer distances, testing accuracy and focus. Others happened fast, in close range, where reaction time mattered more than anything. Each successful takedown reduced pressure on nearby farmland, stopping further damage before it could spread. But it was not easy. Wind direction shifted, carrying scent across the field. Some boars changed direction unexpectedly. One even forced his way under a weak barrier, escaping for a moment before dogs redirected the chase. The team adapted quickly, adjusting positions and tactics without hesitation. As the day moved forward, the count increased, yet no one relaxed. Every moment still carried risk. And as the light slowly began to fade, it became clear the hardest part of this operation was still ahead. As the sun climbed higher, the heat pressed down hard on the land, revealing the true scale of destruction. Torn soil, broken fences, and deep wallows stretched across the fields, a silent reminder what these animals had done. But the operation was far from over. Fatigue was setting in, yet every member of the team knew one mistake now could undo everything. Without warning, the calm shattered. A large boar burst from thick cover just under 100 yards away, moving with explosive speed. Its tusks caught the sunlight as it charged across open ground. There was no time to think. I raised a rifle, centered the sight, controlled my breathing, and fired. The shot landed clean. The animal dropped instantly, its momentum ending just short of the ridge. But that single moment triggered chaos. The rest of the sounders scattered in every direction, crashing through brush and disappearing into uneven terrain. The team reacted immediately. Positions shifted, communication stayed tight, and each movement became deliberate. This wasn't just about taking shots. It was about control. Alex, positioned on higher ground, tracked a group trying to escape along a fence line. He waited for the right angle, then fired. One clean shot stopped the lead animal, forcing the others to hesitate. That pause was enough. The team closed the gap. On the lower side of the field, the dogs had already engaged. Their sharp barks echoed as they held a boar in place near a shallow depression. We moved carefully, keeping distance, making sure the shot would be quick and clean. One precise hit ended it instantly, minimizing risk for both the team and the dogs. Still, not everything went smoothly. A sudden shift in wind carried our scent across the field. One of the larger boars reacted instantly, turning and sprinting toward thicker cover. For a moment, it looked like we might lose it, but quick coordination and repositioning cut off its path. A final shot brought it down just before it reached safety. By late afternoon, the pace slowed. The tension that filled the air all day began to ease. One by one, the remaining targets were handled with the same discipline and precision. No rushed decisions. No unnecessary risks. Then came the final moment. Near the far edge of property, close to damaged fencing, a massive boar appeared, larger than any we had seen all day. It stood still for a brief second, scanning the area. Everyone froze. This was the one that could cause the most damage if it escaped. From an elevated position, I steadied the rifle, distance, angle, breath, everything aligned. I took the shot. Silence followed. The boar dropped where it stood. And just like that, it was over. As the sun began to set, the fields felt different. Still damaged, still scarred, but no longer under immediate threat. The team regrouped, exhausted but focused, knowing what had been prevented here would matter in the days ahead. This wasn't just a hunt. It was control, precision, and responsibility working together. Because out here, one missed moment can change everything. And today we didn't miss.